Yeah. The life of Skonie, car enthusiast, the one and only. Hot car hauling, doing house rehabs and concerts with his homies. Also real estate, he gotta invest, come see the vibes. The big homie, life of Skonie, just make sure that you subscribe. What's going on? So, I had a comment. Somebody requested that I make a video about what I used to do before I got into Hotshot Trucking. And there was also another comment. Someone felt like if you were making, say, I think he said 100 grand, it was $80,000 to $100,000 in corporate America, that it probably is not a good idea to get into Hotshot Trucking. So I agree with why that person said it, but I disagree overall, because there is certain situations where it can help, and I'll explain. So, starting with the first question of what I used to do before I got into Hotshot Trucking. I used to be a machinist. I was working in a machine shop. I was working there probably for about 8 years. I probably took home, honestly, probably about 38, 40 grand a year. And that's take home. And I say that to say, I made more than that, but I put a lot into my 401k because that's taxable income, that's untaxed income or what have you. And again, it's all about strategy. And on top of that, and some people might be watching and saying, dang, you only made less than 40 grand. Yes, because I made money doing other things. I DJ. I had a company called Rehab Plus, where I built stuff and home improvements and things like that on the side. And again, that was even a legitimate business where it was taxable income. But see, the thing about it, it's all about how you structure. Everybody talks about getting into the Hotshot Trucking and talking about the trucking, but one thing I don't see much of, and maybe not to say it doesn't exist, but I haven't heard anyone talking about business structure, how to manage the money, and no one talks about the importance of having an accountant and a money manager. Because yeah, you'll make a lot of money, but you got to know where the money needs to go, how to reinvest, how to see, for the person that said if you were making $100,000 in corporate America or whatever, and on your job, don't jump into Hotshot Trucking. Well, here's the difference. So if you're making $100,000 as a W-2 employee, I mean, all of that income is taxable, right? And there's not a lot of ways to reduce the tax. But if you go into Hotshot Trucking, the business makes all of the money, and you decide how much to allocate to yourself. So again, just like before, I still only take home about 40 grand, $40,000 personally. But if I wanted to get a new vehicle, I probably would purchase it in my business name and let my business have the burden of paying the taxes on that vehicle. And again, depending on what kind of vehicle it is, it potentially can be a tax write-off. Same with taking trips. Some trips are totally personal. Some trips are not. Some trips, like if I go out of the country, again, I have more than one business. Like I said, I DJ. If I go out of the country, I try to make sure I get booked to DJ. And a lot of times that'll help. Number one, it'll help with if I had to take my family with me, at least my flight will be free. And I might even get two. See? So, and then on top of that, I can use if I get 2 free flights, I'll use my kids. I'll take my own flight to be able to write a part of it or all of it off. Because again, I'm going overseas to handle business. Yeah, I might have a little fun too, and again, there are legal ways to do these types of things, and that's why you need a financial advisor. someone that can explain these things so that you don't do things that may be illegal. You want to stay legal in all your ventures, but that's the difference. So it doesn't have to be, if you're making 100K in corporate America, so to speak, and you want to get in the Hotshot, it's still not a bad idea, because again, you can restructure your finances and be able to write certain things off. Again, I do everything from home, so I get to write off some of my mortgage, because my business is inside my home. And again, I do all this stuff legally with my CPA and my financial advisor, so I'm not gonna get into any trouble doing the things that I'm doing. But back to what I used to do. Like I said, I worked in a machine shop for 8 years. It was a very small company. It's probably 25 employees max, a few people in the office, and we had a foreman and supervisor and a bunch of guys that did a few different things. It was, like I said, it was a small company. Basically, to explain what we did, metal companies that produce like sheet metal, iron, steel, whatever, these things are produced and they use something called rollers. It's just like it sounds, they're rollers. Some are long, some are short, but basically these rollers are usually made of metal, heavy metals, and they have rubber on top of them to make things press out smooth or what have you. And what we used to do is we refurbished them. So they would come to us, we strip all the old rubber off of them, put new rubber on it, vulcanize it, which is like a big oven to cook it and cure it on, and then it would come to me and I would grind it to the correct specs. So for all the people that was in school taking geometry and math and thought to yourself, what would you ever need pi for, as in 3.14, my job used it every day, every single day, measuring the circumference of these rollers. So it wasn't a hard job. It was at times critical, but like I said, you take your time and map it out. It wasn't an easy job to learn. It actually would take you about a good solid year to kind of grasp everything. Gonna mess up a lot, but again, it wasn't a bad job. You kind of work by yourself, so I liked that part of it. There was nobody just always over my shoulder about anything. I worked with a bunch of group of great people, from the offices to the supervisors to my coworkers. Everybody was just great people. We all got along for the most part, and kind of family oriented. Holidays we eat together, stuff like that. So it was a great place to work. I had no problems with the job itself. The only issue and the only thing that made me decide to do something different was I got tired of the confinement, so to speak, the having to go there. I wanted to work less, and I think I could have probably worked it out to get on like a 4-day work week. I don't think my supervisor would have had a problem with me getting, because there's one guy that did work there that had a 4-day work week. Actually, three guys had a 4-day work week. So that was one thing, but honestly, I wanted to be able to sometimes actually maybe even work 3 days or 2 and still make the same amount of money if I could do the same work in that amount of time. And that's where he didn't like the idea of it. He actually didn't present it to the owner, but honestly, I think if he did, the owner would have said, hey, it's up to you. And he'd already kind of made up his mind. It's unconventional. He's an older fella, so he didn't really see the benefits in it, because the thing about it was a win-win for both sides. If I'm doing the amount of work in 5 days in 2 or 3 or whatever, you don't have to press for more production, so to speak. And that's the only thing they would be on from time to time. They'd be wanting a little more production out of you. And when people work about an hour, they get paid for that hour, whether they produce a lot or a little. And most people lean on the side of a little. It's just human nature, right? And especially when there's no benefit in it for the employee to do that little extra. The company benefits when you do the little extra, and you do by them dangling the carrot saying, hey, you can make more money if you produce more, and show me you can do it and do it and do it. But you've gotten a lot in that amount of time before they actually release the carrot, so to speak. And for those that work typical 9 to 5, clock in, clock out jobs, you know what I'm talking about. So that was the only thing. I was ready to, I'm kind of a free bird type of guy anyway. So now I work when I feel like working. I don't work when I don't feel like working. I can kind of go where I want to go. Not necessarily on vacation, but for instance, my aunt passed away and her funeral was in St. Louis. St. Louis is still within my 300-mile radius. So instead of just driving my car down there, I'm gonna take a couple cars down there, pick a couple cars up and come back. And while I'm down there, drop in to my aunt's funeral. So, and I get to see my mom. So, and other family members I haven't seen in a while. So it's like, again, those are the benefits. Now, if I still had that job, could I have taken off and used PTO? Of course I could. But again, I'm driving my vehicle, which is, again, it's not a problem. It's just, you gotta see the benefits in it. Like I said, I get the fuel that I'm using to get down here is fuel that I would normally use doing business, you see? So it's just that's how that works. And there's a whole plethora of things and ways you can use these same principles to grow your, number one, you want to grow your business, and you want to be able to maximize your income and reduce your tax debt. That's the biggest thing, reducing your tax debt legally. And that's the thing, people look at the quote unquote rich like they're just rich. And the thing is, they're using tactics, legal, legitimate tactics that are designed for the wealthy. And I mean, when you hear the word wealthy, you probably think millionaires and all that. And it's not, man, it's how it starts. It doesn't start that way. You can start with a few $100,000 and knowing how to reduce your tax debt and live lean and grow your money and spend your money on making more money. And that's kind of the tactics. And I follow this guy, you might have heard of him on YouTube, a guy named Anton Daniels. Talks of money a lot. And he's one of those guys that can get you in the right, points you in the right direction with that stuff. So, and that's kind of why I follow him. I was already headed in that direction, but like he speaks, we want to be around people headed in the same direction, like-minded individuals and that sort of deal. So that's why I follow that guy, and we talk, and I get advice from him. So that's about the gist of it. That's what I used to do. I used to be a machinist, doing the 40-hour work week thing, and doing a couple things on the side, which I still do things on the side. And I'll talk more about stuff like that in another video. But that's it for now. I hope this was informational. Hope you get something from it. And again, stay safe out there on the road. If you're getting into hotshot trucking, that's the main thing. I'm gonna always say, I preach safety, 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 because we need to be safe, because we need to keep living. Like I said, we want to make money, we want to spend it, take care of ourselves, and we got to be able to spend this money. So we got to be safe out there, so we're able to do just that. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this video up, and until next time, man, nobody told you I love you, I appreciate you. You could have been watching any video, but you chose to watch mine. If you don't mind, hit a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, feel free, as always, to hit the thumbs down button. Drop a comment if you got a question, you got anything to add on the things I've said, to help everyone else. Because like I said, this is what this is about, helping each other. Let's grow together. And until next time, peace.